So, our supplementary phone in on the show today. Mark, you'll never believe what my cat brought in. You can start calling in now with your examples. I'd love to hear from you. Mark, you'll never believe what my cat brought home. 01473 212121. Is Theo the only one who is probably reincarnated from a magpie who likes shiny things, I wonder? Matt Porter, our gadget guru, is here. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We have one of our cats was partial to bringing things in. He actually brought in. He used to bring rabbits in all the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, full-grown rabbits,
Oh,
and
my
then
goodness.
he would then, unfortunately, kill them and eat them in front of us.
Lovely.
He was a real sort of feral cat.
Yeah.
On one occasion, we came home and he'd brought in a koi carp.
No.
Yeah.
They're really expensive.
Yeah, I know that. I know. Yeah, he brought a koi carp in. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Blimey. Oh dear. We've got quite a lot of comments coming in on the Facebook page already on this one. Sharon describes him as a magpie disguised as a cat. And you can see some of the things here. Go onto my Facebook page and the Radio Suffolk page, and you can see, look, some of the things that he's brought home.
Oh my goodness, right.
Little Christmas tree decorations.
That's a lot nicer than
so
that cat.
he's obviously just snuck off and wandered in and come back with little presents. Dawn's been in touch. My cat Peppy once brought home half a roast chicken. Another time a sausage roll. You just kind of wonder when people... Where's our chicken gone? What, have you eaten it? Where's our chicken? Probably a real domestic going on about where the chicken's
It's almost like something out of the Beano with Nasher running out of the butchers with the sausages in his mouth.
Yeah, that's right, Dawn, another one of mine, brings frogs, but I'm really not a fan of anything like that. Well, I'm not sure who is. And Sharon, my 4 cats only bring me normal things like live mice and chewed up birds, dropping them at my feet with a proud glance. Yes. So, Mark, you'll never believe what my cat brought home, please. 01473 212121. Ed Sheeran in the news today. When is Ed Sheeran not in the news? But today's in the news about social media. So we're asking today, can social media become too much of an obsession? It's astounding how many of us spend our days with our eyes trained on our phones and checking our Facebook. Well, Ed Sheeran seems to have had a belly full and has told his legion of fans that he's going to be taking a break from social media. Certainly Twitter, he's very big on that. Explaining his views on the photo app Instagram, he told fans, I've had such an amazing ride over the last 5 years, but I find myself seeing the world through a screen and not my eyes. He's taking time out to shed commitments and travel the world to see everything he has missed. Has he got a point?
What, his social media manager's going on holiday, is he? No.
Do you suspect that he's not writing them?
No, I'm sure he is. I'm sure he has some part in it, as do most of these
A lot of them are media
celebs.
managed now, aren't they?
Yeah, they do. I think famously, what's her name? The Hit Me Baby One More Time. I can't think of the singer. Anyway,
yes.
Anyway,
her. What is her name?
I can't remember. It's ridiculous,
Britney
isn't it?
Spears is the voice in my ears.
That's
Thank
right.
you.
Yeah, Britney Spears famously had millions of followers, but most of her tweets were signed manager. You know, whatever his name is, whatever her manager's name was, it was signed by him, so he was actually managing the tweets. I think you can get obsessed. I know for certain, and through experience, you can get completely obsessed with these kind of things before social media, before it had a label, I guess. When I was, before I was married and moved to Ipswich, I used to use MSN Chat and MSN chat rooms, which is very similar to Facebook groups, and Facebook, those kind of things where people are all member of a group and they all chat with each other. And I used to spend evenings sitting there online with it going bing, bing, bing on the screen and replying.
Years ago, we would have all gone down the pub, wouldn't we?
Yes, I guess we would.
For a convivial chat, to be amongst friends and to be amongst like-minded folk, you would go and wander off and meet people face to face.
You would, maybe.
And nip down to the pub, the social club, wherever it may be.
I found a lot of people that I was chatting to online back then, through experience, were people that were who just had relationship breakups, were very lonely, were shy, and things like that. And they were able to sit behind a screen, and it gave them a little bit more freedom. But it does become obsessive, where your evening out is sitting in front of a computer. I'm not sure about Ed Sheeran, how obsessed he was getting with his social media, but obviously he had millions of followers, and did he feel obliged to reply to people when they were sending through, pictures and comments and things like that? I don't know. if he is feeling overwhelmed by it, then maybe his management wasn't doing the job properly, you know.
I mean, it is interesting. I mean, we have Facebook pages here, Twitter pages, emails, and I struggle sometimes to reply to all the emails. And there is a perception, I think, from some people that, you know, you've just got all the time in the world, and you could sit there and answer emails all day long and still never get through it.
Well, the thing is, it's a means to an end, these kind of things. Like your page on Facebook is a way of you getting interest before your show.
Yeah.
But in return for that, people start commenting at all times. I notice people tag you in things. You know, they paste a story, and by tagging you, it's kind of obliging you to become involved in something.
Don't get me wrong, I love it.
No,
I love all that interaction.
Yeah.
But sometimes you just don't have the time to interact.
That's what I mean.
Fully.
You know, suddenly someone's doing that at sort of 2 o'clock in the morning, and your phone might beep or something. You know, and do you feel obliged to be replying at that hour?
No.
So, well, you know, but that's the thing, isn't it? You can become quite involved in these things, and you don't want to upset your listeners or fans or whatever. Fans if you're Ed Sheeran. So it's a difficult balancing act because you kind of, especially when you're as famous as he might be, you're trading your soul. I was going to say you sold your soul, but you're trading your soul to your legion of fans because they're your money.
But donkeys years ago, if Ed had been successful in another former generation, someone would have run his fan club, wouldn't they? You know, it would be the Ed Sheeran fan club.
Yes.
And you'd all write off, can I join and be a member of the Ed Sheeran fan club? And you might get a Christmas card, and you'd get a little newsletter and stuff like that.
Some flexi disc with a Christmas single on it or something, fan single.
So I guess it's just the modern day equivalent of that. So you probably do need to have someone managing your account.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, he's got millions and I don't know how he would go about trying to manage that number. I mean, followers is okay with Twitter because it's just basically people watching to see what you've got to say. It's if he was following millions, then he'd have a problem, I guess, in that respect. But, you know, Instagram, people are going to be wanting to see, you know, if he's taking snaps of whatever he's doing in the studio or eating a cream puff or whatever, I don't know, but like I said, you are trading off some of you're trading off all of your private life, aren't you, in return for people buying records, I guess.
Well, it's part and parcel of it, isn't it? If you're expecting people to, spend money and give you the lifestyle that you want, you do need to give something back.
And there's an expectation now of all these celebs to be in the public eye 24 hours a day, whereas again, back when I used to follow bands, they would be making an album. You might not hear from them for 6 months or whatever while they're making an album, or they might go out on tour and things like that. So you would expect there'd be quiet periods. But again, it's this constant, very quick rotation of music and everything that's required. It's all a very fast-moving world we live in, isn't it?
Well, it's nice that he's been open and upfront and said, look, I'm just going to take a little step away and have a bit of me time, which is no bad thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I don't blame him.
All right. Maybe he could do with one of our gizmos this week, which is one of these sad lamps, which people use at this time of the year if they suffer from seasonal affective disorder.
That's right.
We'll talk about that in a moment or two. If you've maybe got one or you've got seasonal affective disorder, it's been diagnosed, be really interested to hear from you. I'm sure there are lots of people who do kind of feel low because of the lack of sunlight that we have in this
time
country.
Of year. Yeah. Coming up for the shortest day and it's dark evenings.
Well, it's pretty miserable outside today, isn't it?
It is very dark. Yeah, it is very.
Okay, so we'll talk about that in a moment or two. So what have you got then? You've got a nice light.
Yes, what we have today is
a mini sun.
Yes, this is a mini sun. Well, the brand is Mini Sun. It's a portable SAD light, or SAD light, which is seasonal affective disorder, which evidently affects between 3 and 6% of the population in the UK, and it's kind of recognised as a type of depression. Which occurs over the sort of darker seasons, such as winter. So
see, I always feel a bit down when the summer ends, but I always think that's because that's another summer of my life gone, and I'm never going to get that back. Yeah. Or is it down to the nights getting darker and I think it doesn't help down?
Yeah, I mean, it's dark in the morning. A lot of people used to complain when it's dark when they go to work and dark when they come home, but it's called the winter blues as well, I think. Basically, it's meant to be to do with levels of serotonin in our brains. So when there's not natural sunlight, serotonin isn't being generated or isn't being made, and that has a direct effect on our moods, and it's proven that serotonin has an effect on our moods because it's recognised that that's got to do with depression and things like that. But by having natural light, which is what this lamp produces, so it's kind of the size of
it's like
an
a tablet
iPad.
device, isn't it? Yeah.
It's kind of that kind of size, like a full-size tablet, and it has a case which makes it look even more like a tablet. And that case, similar to a lot of the tablet cases, acts as a stand as well. So it's got ridges in the on the front cover, which you basically just rest the light against, which makes it stand up at an angle. So it's about the size of a tablet. It has bright LED lights behind it, which are spread across the front nice and neatly. So it's like a nice uniform bright glow that comes off of it. And you basically just plug that in and sit that on a table or a desk near where you are. You're not going to sit it in front of you and bathe in that light because you end up with eye problems. But so you wouldn't use it like a sun lamp.
No,
but
have
it
it sitting on the table next to you.
Yeah, it's like a source of light. So if you're sitting next to a window in the summer with the light coming in, it's that kind of thing. So it's there to sort of alleviate those symptoms.
Okay, it's called Mini Sun. How much does it cost?
This one is $29.99, available in white and pink. This one's white.
Now, some of these lamps in the past have been hundreds of pounds.
Yeah, they can be very expensive. It says you use it for 60 minutes a day, and it is proven to improve symptoms.
Okay, and so £30. That's amazing. I thought you were going to say a couple of £100.
No, it's not a couple.
Wow.
It's $39.99. If you go to mini-sun.co.uk, you can buy them there.
Right. Okay, and more details on thegadgetman.org.uk.
That's right.
thegadgetman.org.uk.